Okay, now this is proof that Paul had the appearance of being a so-called black man. Okay. Acts chapter 21 verse 37. And as Paul was to be led into the council, he said unto the chief captain, May I speak unto thee? Who said, Canst thou speak Greek? Okay, this is Apostle Paul speaking right here. Watch. This is Acts chapter 21 verse 38. He said, art not thou that Egyptian? Because this is the chief captain asking Paul, are you not an Egyptian? Now, if Apostle Paul was a so-called white man, why is this chief captain thinking that Paul was an Egyptian? This is a cut to the white Christianity faith. Acts chapter 21 verse 38. Art not thou that Egyptian which before these days madest an uproar and led us out into the wilderness 4,000 men that were murderers? So it was a particular gentleman that was living in Egypt that made an uproar to overthrow, I believe, the Roman Empire. Okay, with some soldiers. Okay, and he was getting confused because he's thinking that Apostle Paul is this man that was in Egypt, that had raised up some soldiers to overtake the Roman Empire. Okay, and Apostle Paul is going to tell you who he was and where he was from. Acts chapter 21 verse 39. But Paul said, I am a man which am a Jew of Tarsus. So he had to explain, I am a Jew of Tarsus, a city in Sicily, a citizen of no mean city. And I beseech thee, suffer me to speak unto the people. So Paul saying, no, I'm a Jew of Tarsus. I'm from Tarsus, a city in Sicily. And Sicily is in a Greek territory area where you consider like Turkey and everything like that, territory area. That's what this particular place is at. So Paul was not born in Israel. So this is what modern day Christians got to explain. What is a so-called black man doing in living in a Greek country? They will have to explain this. And basically he know how to speak Greek, by the way. Even though, of course, the Roman Empire took control of all that infrastructure and territory. But you got to explain these verses, white Christians, which they're not going to explain it. So this is another cut. Okay. And then also the chief captain that was speaking with Apostle Paul, his name was Claudius Lysias. Okay, and then when you read Acts chapter 23 verse 26, Claudius Lysias, unto the most excellent governor Felix sendeth greeting, because Claudius Lysias had to send a letter on Paul's behalf to get him free, to be able to be free from the wicked of our people, because the wicked of our people had put out word that they was going to kill Paul. Okay, but Apostle Paul had to do his completion of his ministry before that happened, though. But the chief captain spoke on Apostle Paul's behalf by sending a letter to the governor Felix to free Apostle Paul to get some security. Okay, so he wouldn't be killed by our wicked men, okay, of Israel at that time, as far as the leaders. Okay, now we got the understanding. Cilicia is a geoculture region in southern Anatolia, Turkey. Okay, let's go to the next one. Because again, Israel, we got to get these areas looked at. It says Tarsus. Tarsus, this is where Apostle Paul said he was from. Tarsus was a city in ancient Sicily, located in the modern day province of Mersin, Turkey. So Apostle Paul is telling he was not from Israel, but he was an Israelite. So this is what modern day Christians are not understanding when it says there is neither nor Jew nor Greek. We all one in Christ. What the modern day Christians of today don't understand when it says there's no difference between Jew nor Greek. We all one in Christ is talking about the people that was being called Greeks that Paul was referring to. Those were children of Israel following Greek customs. Okay, who identified as being Greeks but not as children of Israel. Because you had Israelites that was living in these Greek territories that identified themselves as, of course, Hebrew Israelites. But you had some there that identified themselves as being Greeks. Just like today, you have our people identifying themselves as being American, even though actuality, their nationality is not American. They are Hebrew Israelites. Then you have Hebrew Israelites in America that identify themselves as Hebrew Israelites and set up churches in America as Hebrew Israelite churches. Okay? And you had our people setting up their churches who identified as Greeks, having Greek churches. Okay? It's all the same thing. History repeats itself. Okay? History repeats itself. Okay. See, it says Turkey, officially the Republic of Turkey, is a country bridging Europe and Asia. Talking about Asian Minor. Okay. It shares borders with Greece and Bulgaria to the northwest, the Black Sea to the north. Okay. So again, these are European areas. And this is where Apostle Paul was living at. Okay. Okay, let's go to Lamentations 4 and 6 to get the understanding of the visage or the visual of the children of Israel. Okay, but again, Lamentation is going to give more like a metaphorical sense of the color complexion of the children of Israel. Lamentations chapter 4 verse 6. For the punishment of the iniquity of the daughter of my people is greater than the punishment of the sin of Sodom, that was overthrown as in the moment, and no hand stayed on her. So again, the children of Israel are committing sins far greater than, of course, the sins of Sodom and Gomorrah, which was overthrown as in a moment. That means it got overthrown in minutes. Okay. So again, the Most High does have mercy on us. Okay, because he could wipe us all out because of our transgressions. Okay. Lamentations chapter 4 verse 7. Her Nazarites were purer than snow. They were whiter than milk. They were more ruddy in body than rubies. Their polishing was of sapphire. So when it says her Nazarites were purer than snow, it's going into the Nazarene vow, meaning they were righteous men, okay, that did a vow, purer than snow. Okay, no spots and blemishes. Okay, pure. They were whiter than milk, meaning pure again. Explain pure. Okay, because milk primarily is just white, but he's comparing the Nazarites, meaning they're more pure and righteous than an appearance of milk in general. They were more ruddy in body than rubies. So meaning their appearance and how they dress. Okay, how they dress, because rubies is a jewelry. So they dressed in royal apparel. That's what it said. Their polishing was of sapphire. Sapphire is another form of jewelry. Okay. Rubies is a nice jewelry. Okay. Very valuable, especially in the Bible times. Okay. Sapphire too as well was a royalty situation going on as far as jewelry. Okay. Let me get to the point on this next verse. Lamentations chapter 4 verse 8. Their visage is blacker than coal. Hold up, wait a minute. So the children of Israel visage or visual is blacker than coal. It didn't say their visages were white like snow. It said visage is blacker than coal. Coal is already black. So this is another cut to the white Christian faith. The children of Israel were known to be black people. Point blank period. They are not known in the streets. Their skin cleaveth to their bones. It is withered. It has become like a stick. So again, their skin. Their their skin. And we got the understanding that's going into them being black people. Okay, this is another cut to the white Christian faith. Okay, as you can see, I've been cutting these white Christian philosophy and also the black people that want to push that white Jesus crap down our throat. Okay, I'm just cutting you up every time. Okay, and I'm proving to you that Nazarenes was supposed to be pure. Okay, what they was getting into. Numbers chapter 6 verse 1, and Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying. So now we're going to get the understanding what it's talking about, a Nazarite. Okay, Numbers chapter 6 verse 2. Speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them, when either man or woman shall separate themselves to vow a vow of a Nazarite, to separate themselves unto Yahweh, because the Nazarites, or to be a Nazarene, you have to separate yourself from the general, well, what you're supposed to do. It's a certain vow. Numbers chapter 6 verse 3. He shall separate himself from wine and strong drink, and shall drink no vinegar of wine or vinegar of strong drink, neither shall he drink any liquor of grapes, nor eat moist grapes or dried. So this only applied to a Nazarene or a Nazarite, male or female. Okay, they was not supposed to drink no forms of wine, no type of vinegar, no type of grapes type of situation, and no strong drink. Okay, it's going into your strong alcohol. Okay, of course, children of Israel in general could drink, but a Nazarite, no, that's a different understanding. Numbers chapter 6 verse 4. All the days of his separation shall he eat nothing that is made of the vine tree, from the kernels even to the husk. So they had strict protocols. That's why when we just read in Lamentations that the Nazarene was purer than snow, or whiter than snow, or something like that. Okay, however, I'm paraphrasing it. That's why I used that scenario, because they was not operating as just in general as children of Israel. Okay, they could do it was a separation. Numbers chapter 6 verse 5. All the days of the vow of his separation, there shall no razor come upon his head. So a Nazarite or a Nazarene could not shave his or her head until the days be fulfilled in which he separated himself unto Yahweh. He shall be holy. Holy means separate. That's what it say, which he separated himself unto Yahweh. He shall be holy, and shall let the locks of the hair of his head grow. The locks of his hair. It said, shall let the locks of the hair of his head grow. So again, this is another situation of example of dreadlocks mentioned in the laws of Moses for a Nazarene or a Nazarite, which is basically the same thing. Okay. So again, this cannot be implying to so-called white man. He doesn't have this type of hair to be able to have locks. Okay. So this gives us an understanding what that's getting into. So now, before we almost done with this lesson, we're going to go to the book of Judges, chapter 16, verse 4, when we go into Samson and Delilah's story. And Samson was a what? Samson was a Nazarene. Okay? And Nazarene could not shave off their head, which we just brought out in the law. Okay? Which we just brought out when we go to Numbers chapter 6, verse 5. And also it probably had other examples in other verses in other books as well concerning in the laws of Moses. It said, shall no razor come upon his head. Okay. This is going to the Nazarene vow, not just in general the children of Israel. See, Christianity has told people, oh, see, it's a sin to cut your hair. No, it's not. It was a sin for a Nazarene or a person vowed to be a Nazarene or a Nazarite. It was a sin for them to cut off their head. Okay. Okay. Until they made and completed their vow, or whatever they did when they separated themselves to the Most High. Okay, to do whatever vow they were supposed to do. Okay, but in general, children of Israel can grow out their hair or cut their hair. Okay. Judges chapter 16 verse 4. And it came to pass afterward that he loved a woman in the valley of Sarek, whose name was Delilah. So this is Samson now. He loved a woman that was named Delilah. Okay. Judges chapter 16 verse 5. And the lords of the Philistines came up unto her. So the Philistines is the so-called Hamitic nation, one of their nations. Okay. They had came up and convinced, of course, Delilah to turn on Samson to overthrow him. Okay. Came up unto her and said unto her, entice him and see wherein his great strength lieth, and by what means we may prevail against him, that we may bind him to afflict him. And we will give thee every one of us 1,100 pieces of silver. So they bribed this particular woman, Delilah, to take down Samson by him revealing to her his weakness. And this is what the other nations have done. They have taken our holy Bible, found out our weakness, and overcame us. How they overcome us? By us rejecting this law book, because God's laws, or Yahweh's laws, is what makes us basically stronger. Okay. So Delilah is basically being used to force Samson to be weakened. Okay. Now we got that understanding. We're going to go to the next verses on down. Judges chapter 16 verse 15. And she said unto him, Delilah said unto Samson, how canst thou say I love thee when thy heart is not with me? Thou hast mocked me these 3 times and hast not told me wherein thy great strength lieth. So again, Delilah tried to convince Samson to tell her, you know, what his weakness was, but he did not tell her the truth 3 different times. Now, of course, Samson is going to be giving in to what she really wants for him to reveal his secret. They cause him to be weak. Judges chapter 16 verse 16. And it came to pass, when she pressed him daily with her words and urged him, so that his soul was vexed unto death. So she kept asking over and over and over again daily, to the point where Samson gave in. Okay. And Samson wasn't so wise. He was strong in might, but he was not that much wise. Okay. To the point where he could see the deception. Judges chapter 16 verse 17. It says that he told her all his heart. So he told her everything. He told Delilah everything, and said unto her, there have not come a razor upon my head, for I have been a Nazarite. You see this? A Nazarite. A Nazarite vows a vow to not shave his head for a portion of time, however long that vow is. It says, I have been a Nazarite unto Elohim from my mother's womb. So since he was born, he was a Nazarite. He was brought into tuition to be born a Nazarite. If I be shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak and be like any other man. Be like any other man. So again, the Most High Yah gave Samson power, strength, might. Okay, to be able to have superpower strength like situation going on. Okay, to have that type of might like you see in the superhero movies. Okay, this is what Samson had. That's why he said, if I cut my hair, I'm going to be like regular men that are weak. They cannot do certain things. I have strength, courage, power, fearlessness. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what happens after this. This is going to get to my point. Judges chapter 16 verse 18. And when Delilah saw that he had told her all his heart, she sent and called for the lords of the Philistines, saying, come up this place, for he have showed me all his heart. I mean, he told me everything. He told me all his secrets. Then the lords of the Philistines came up unto her and brought money in her hand. So now they are paying this woman now. Okay, which they said they was going to do when we read the verses up. Because now she got paid to bring down Samson. Judges chapter 16 verse 19. And she made him sleep upon her knees. So after, of course, they made love to each other, of course, she made him sleep by her legs, her knee area, so she can do what she had to do to his hair. And she called for a man and she caused him to shave off the 7 locks. So she called a man to shave off the locks off Samson's head. Okay. So this is the key point. She caused him to shave off the seven locks of his head. So locks, instead of just saying locks, dreadlocks. So she cut 7 dreadlocks off of his head. Okay. So you see this, Israel? This could not have been the white man, because the white man in his movies don't have locks. He just have long hair. As you can see in the movies, it doesn't match up with the Bible. Okay. And this is another cut to the white Christianity movies and white Christianity faith. It's not matching up with the Bible, as you can see. It says Samson had locks, dreadlocks of his head, and she began to afflict him, and his strength went from him. So this is why Samson became weak, because Delilah had a man cut off his 7 dreadlocks. Okay, and the white movies that come out, they don't that they be displaying, don't have a white man having dreadlocks. So this is a cut to their doctrine that the Christianity faithful today is pushing. Okay, they need to stop it. The Bible saying what it's saying. Judges chapter 16 verse 20. And she said, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he awoke out of his sleep and said, I will go out as at other times before and shake myself. And he was not that Yahweh was departed from him. So he did not know that Yahweh departed from him, meaning his spirit of strength. He became weak because he told this particular woman his secret on what had made him weak. So he's thinking, I still got the same power and strength. But look what happened. Judges chapter 16 verse 21. But the Philistines took him and put out his eyes and brought him down to Gaza and bound him with fetters of brass. And he did grind in the prison house. So they gouged out his eyes, basically blinded him and chained him up and put him in prison. Okay. So this is what the Philistines did. The so-called African nation did. Okay. They did this because they wanted to overcome Samson. Okay. But in general, when you look at the movies, I think they did come out with a movie that showed Samson as a black man. Okay. In this white Bible story show that came out with some years back, it had Samson, of course, the only character there as a so-called black man, as being strong, even though they kind of try to stereotype as being, you know, an animal or something like that, how they do in these movies. But that's what somewhat of the power that he had. And then too, you looked in the movie, he had dreadlocks, showing Esau, the so-called white man, showing the people that they know Samson in the Bible was a so-called black man. That's why they put it in that TV show. But the modern day Christians don't understand this. They looked at that and seen it like, oh, okay, you know, that went over everybody's head right there. But it didn't go over my head, because I know Samson, okay, in the Bible was a so-called black man. Okay, because of course he had dreadlocks. It says these things. Let's go to Song of Solomon chapter 5 verse 16, and this is going to be the last verse. Okay, it says, Song of Solomon chapter 5 verse 16, his mouth is most sweet, yea, he is altogether lovely. This is my beloved, and this is my friend, O daughters of Jerusalem. When it said O daughters of Jerusalem, it's talking about just in general the children of Israel. And this is why I can say, when you go back up to verse, I believe 14, his hands are as gold rings set with the beryl. His belly is as bright ivory overlaid with sapphire. So this is the characteristic of the children of Israel, having gold rings when it says his hands. So you go all the way down, you get understanding it's going into talking about the children of Israel. Okay, in general. See, his mouth is most sweet, yea, he is altogether lovely. This is my beloved, and this is my friend, O daughters of Jerusalem. Because the friend that King Solomon was referring to is his people, his nation, the children of Israel, and not all nations like in general Christianity faith is teaching. As you can see, King Solomon referred to his friend as being the children of Israel. He didn't say all nations, all nationalities. You don't see that nowhere in the scriptures, man. It's only concerning the children of Israel. Okay, Israel, hopefully this class lesson was edifying for you. So now you can show this to your family if you want to show them that, you know, we went into this Bible to show that the prophets of the Most High are black men. And when you read these verses, you didn't see no mention or no characteristics of none of these guys that was in the book as being the so-called white man of today that put himself in the movies as if it's talking about him, but it's actually talking about you, children of Israel, you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans of today. Okay, it's talking about you. This Bible is for you. It was created by you, and it's for you to take heed to know what you need to do to have everlasting life in Christ's kingdom. So we have to rehearse the righteous acts of the Most High, take heed to what this Bible is saying, and have faith in your heritage, and remove the lies of this world saying the Bible is a white man's book. No, it is not. It's a black man's book. It has always been a black man's book, and it's time for our people to see that. Okay, Israel. So other than that, Israel, hopefully this class lesson was edifying for you. Okay, to know that the prophets of the Most High are black men. Okay. Other than that, Israel, stay tuned for more classroom lessons, more videos. And other than that, stay tuned for more videos. Shalom. Shalom, 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 Israel. This is Captain Paul Israel from Kingdom Builders of Israel LLC, and I'm glad that you basically enjoyed the 5-part series of the prophets of the Bible are black men. Okay, there was a 5-part series that needed to be done due to the fact that many of our people out here have different ideologies outside this Holy Bible, as saying that the Holy Bible is a white man's book. Right, but when we open up the scriptures and open up the Bible ourselves, we observe that the Bible is a black man's book. Okay, as it consists of the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, of course, because we are dispersed through the 4 corners of the earth in the lands of our enemies. Okay, looking like the other nations to a certain degree as well. But other than that, Israel, even with all this truth and information, you still have people acting like this brother right here.
Hell to the no, no, no. Come on, come on. Come on. Hell no. To the no, no, no.
And then you have another brother acting like this brother right here as well.
No. No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No. 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 Hell no. 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 I refuse. No, no.
You see, Israel, you see what we have to do to wake our people up. We have to expose truth after truth after truth where you cannot deny the truth. So this 5-part series was basically a finishing move, just like when you watch that Mortal Kombat video game series or episode or video game or whatever. The finishing move. I demolish the Christianity doctrine and other doctrines in these 5-part series to say that, oh, this Bible is a white man's book. No, it's not. This Bible is a black man's book. Okay, that's point blank, period. So there's no you can get around this, white Christians or of our people that want to advocate for the Christianity faith. You know what I'm saying? You got to check your spirit. But other than that, Israel, continue to walk, continue to faith, push this truth to the 4 corners of the earth to show that the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans of today are the Hebrew Israelites, and we got to come back to Yahweh's commandments. Okay, Israel? Other than that, stay tuned for more videos. Shalom.
Fatality.